Welcome back. That sucked. That sucked. That sucked a lot. That was absolutely terrible, honestly. It is really frustrating, to be quite honest. But it's also entirely not surprising. Every week, I'll continue to say it. It's the same story. It's the same story. We're going to fall apart. We can't focus. We can't string together two halves. We can't defend when it matters. We can't do shit. We can't do shit. See, this is the stuff. Like this is why it's hard for me to agree with the fan base in general. These kind of comments. No offense to calling you out here, but that is a fucking insane comment. Casemiro was once again the worst player on the pitch. It's pretty hilarious. I mean, even the goal we concede comes down to a one long ball from West Ham that Casemiro misjudges, and it runs into the corner, and we concede off the corner. But it was just shit. It's the same stuff every single day. It's the same thing. Yeah, this is just who we are. This is just who we are. You know, unfortunately, this is who we are. I mean, I think that quite honestly, we're like, yeah, Euro misjudged it as well. You'll see it if you rewatch it on the goal. It's unfortunate because we actually had some control prior to that. It was Casemiro and then it was Euro. It was a double, which was wonderful. But Casemiro plays another 90 minutes, and I got no defense for that. I've got no defense for that. Your chat looks more. Oh, it's the same every week. We lose the game or we lose the points rather, and then everybody one way crawls out of the woodwork, and then every time we win, they're silent, and then and it goes back and forth. It was boring. It was boring. It was frustrating. In fact, it's a really frustrating game. I don't know. Just everything just sucked. Quite honestly, I didn't say it was all down to Casemiro. Open your eyes, open your ears. This is who we are. I mean, I don't know what I honestly don't know. And that's why I keep saying, like, the idea that if you speak regarding Bruno, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. Remember, they're the saviors. They're the saviors. It's on everybody else. We are where we are. It's the same every single week. This is the team. This is it. This is what we have. We just don't have it. Oops. I sincerely hope Ineos get a mid and left wing back in January. I mean, we're dead without it. We just don't have it, man. We genuinely don't. We genuinely just don't have it. It's the same story every single game, every single week, every single time. It's like, I don't know, man. If I look at the game as a whole, I look at it and say the last, from about 10 minutes, about 20 minutes in a row, from about 20 minutes to about 65, we were pretty good. We controlled the game. We built up possession. We created chances. They had a clearance off the line, a decent attempt from Mbeumo, the goal that we have, one time off the post. Then, we score. And immediately after the score, the same shit happens. We just stop. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. The same thing happens. We just stop. And I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know what to say about it, because you can sit there and argue, oh, Kobbie Mainoo will come on and save the world. Maybe you're right. We were 3-0 against Brighton. We brought on Kobbie Mainoo. We conceded twice. Okay. Maybe you're right. Okay. It's like, we can't win. And I think that the biggest issue is that people are fooling themselves into thinking every time it's the one guy who didn't get subbed. The one guy who didn't get subbed is the reason why we didn't win today. Was the reason why. That was the savior. When you just have to accept this is who we fucking are. This is who we are. And it's not changing right now. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to change. You know, when a player isn't playing as the savior, it happens all the time. Exactly. It does. You know, it does. It happens every time. And by the way, it wasn't 30 minutes before the end of the game, these subs. That's the thing about it as well. Mount and Ugarte come on at the 78th minute. 78th minute. And also, we actually attacked after that, had control of the game, and did decently well. And then what happened? It was one long ball that we just broke down, fell asleep on a corner, and conceded. Does that make it to be Amarim did a great job? No. You'll never see me. See, there's the difference, right? When we win a game, I say this every single week. When we win a game, I'll never sit there and say, oh, Amarim's doing an amazing job. No, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And when we lose or when we drop points, it's just is what it is. It's every single week like this. It's the same thing. The subs were very clearly because both players were tiring and didn't have the legs. They had to make subs. I have no idea, man. When I look at it like this is that the way I look at it. No, I think West Ham. Look, we can look at the stats on it. I mean, they're pretty clear on this front. I mean, we had double their expected goals, nearly double the possession, 17 shots to 11. They didn't do much. We missed a lot of chances. I mean, look at the second half. 2 big chances. We missed a lot of chances. That's for sure. It wasn't a good game, but we certainly missed quite a few chances. There's no doubt about that. What chances? I mean, do you remember Wan-Bissaka clearing it off the line in the first half? It's just gone out of your memory. They defended really well. Wan-Bissaka played the game of his life. It happens, you know? We didn't play amazing, but you also have to talk about the final ball. A lot of different things. We also scored, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but that's another chance that we scored. No, we missed a lot of shots. Missing a lot of shots is a problem. Wan-Bissaka should have been sent off, by the way. That's his second yellow is waiting to happen. That should have happened. He should have had that second yellow. You know, it is what it is. We are where we are, man. You don't want to see 4 defenders coming on. I mean, is Mason Mount a defender or what? I mean, I get the 4 defensive substitutions, but our whole bench is 4. And look, if I look at it in a few different things and I walk through everything that went wrong today, what goes wrong? Bruno, same shit every single week. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Casemiro, same shit every week. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to weigh it go in on Bruno and Casemiro again, but they're crap. They're just crap. I'm sorry. They're crap. I don't know what to tell you, man. They're just not good enough. And Mbeumo was shinning the ball the entire game, you know. Just a rough game for him. His 3rd in a row. That hasn't been good. But today, it's fine. It is what it is. Cunha comes back. Didn't have a good game. Mazraoui was probably our best player. Quite easily, too. Mazraoui was very, very good. You know, Mazraoui was probably our best player in this game as well. He was quite good. Shaw did well again. The thing about it is, like, from about 20 minutes on, we started actually playing through West Ham. In the build-up, we stopped going long ball. We stopped doing that. We started passing it. We started getting into the territory that we need to be. We started being where we needed to be. We started picking up the positions where we needed to be. Getting into the areas where we needed to be. The first half, I think one of the things that was really, really going wrong in that game, which you tweeted as well, and that is to me an issue, which was very frustrating, is that this thing where we keep we drop out, wait on the top of the box, and then cross them, and then cross it. Wait at the top of the box, cross. Wait at the top of the box, cross. Wait at the top of the box, cross. Nobody wants to fucking make a run through the lines. The best chance we had came from finally Ahmad getting down the line, crossing with his right off of Xerxes that goes into the line clearance, you know? But it was so frustrating to see us just constantly over and over and over just do that. That right-sided, thing was working, but there was just drop out of the box and cross, drop out of the box and we cross. Do all of that. And that drives me absolutely nuts, in terms of that aspect. I think one of the I think this is a good evidence, by the way, for Mazraoui, why he deserves praise here. This is the progression. We've talked about this a lot, that we need progression to come from the back. We need progression to come from, the center backs. Look at Mazraoui in this game. They're doing the job right here. Today they did it. Today they did their job, and that's why we were able to get into the area we want. I don't care if people don't really look at stats. I mean, last week, people complained we didn't create goals out of open play. We created 2.18 non-penalty expected goals, and only 0.85 come from set pieces. We created enough to win this game. When you look at it, again, there was enough opportunities to score and enough opportunities to be in the right position. But that doesn't mean we were great. That doesn't mean it was good. That doesn't mean it was like exceptional in any respect. You know what I mean? The center backs did better getting us up the pitch. We got to the right areas. We controlled the ball and all of that. And, it is what it is in that respect. See, here's a problem with this comment, Nathan. You're not on the fucking camera in front of people, right? I don't have a go at users and say, every time we lose, come up here and say, you know what? Nathan Brown 9786, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're arrogant. You're a prick. Right? That's not how it works. So it's not arrogant in dismissing others' opinions or anything like that. I'm confident in stating my own. That's it. Okay. I haven't defended Amarim for a second. I'm talking about the team as a whole. Same as I do every single week. And that I will continue to do. So that was poor. The way that we tried to create chances in the first half was poor. In the second half, we did a lot more in that respect until we scored. And then we stepped back and said, fine. As soon as we scored, we just backed off. As soon as we scored, everybody just backed off and downed it out again. And I don't care about the subs in terms of Xerxes and Cunha coming off, because they were quite honestly tired, exhausted, all of that. They were clearly, Xerxes especially they were both quite tiring. But what I say, which I've said for weeks, and I will continue to repeat, is that it's the Bruno Casemiro problem that's going to cost us. It just is. The fact that we're going to continue it is what it is, Now, in terms of every time we want to replace them, though, people go, well, hold on, people say Ugarte is the worst player in the world, but then we got to sub these guys off the pitch. I mean, at the end of the day, we're essentially just saying, a lot of people are just saying we should have put Kabi on. Okay, fine. I don't disagree with you. I would have subbed Kabi on earlier as well. I would have subbed him on for Casemiro in the first half. I can't stand continuing to watch Casemiro send it into the crowd. It drives me fucking nuts. I can't stand watching him constantly hit first-time balls into the defender. I can't fucking stand it. I think Ugarte did fine today, by the way. He certainly had nothing to do with why we conceded. He was fine defensively, did a decent job, and moved the ball around at the end. But it's just, I don't know, man. We don't have the options at the same time. The options we have aren't working. I would play Kabi and Ugarte simply because I just want to see us fight and win. I made a note, just as I did last week, of all the times through the first half. It was frustrating as hell looking at it, like every loose ball in the midfield, we lose. Every second ball in the midfield, we lose. All of that happens. I don't know, man. That it's frustrating, and I just like, I don't have the answers to that. I don't have the answers to that at all, because I don't think it's as I think people think it's simple. And every time we don't play somebody, they become the solution, and then they come on and nothing happens, and then it's like we go round and round on this. You can't keep. See here. Here's the. Let me go through these. Okay. Appears the writing is on the wall. Awful subs again to lose. How is it again though with that? Like last week, he makes good subs. By the way, won us the game against Palace, bringing Mazraoui on. We can't just keep saying it's awful subs again. The point is, it's extremely inconsistent. The way that we play is always inconsistent. Delaying the inevitable. I mean, maybe they might be. We'll never progress by accommodating Bruno. I could see that. I struggle to see how the subs were bad. One CB the whole game. Bruno moves to the 10. Midfield depth is bad. Foot off the gas after scoring, as always. Sure. Yeah. Could have got Lacey on and said, go express yourself. I guess. Again, it's like, no, that's fine, Nathan. That's fine, Nathan. Look, there's plenty of questions to ask. You know what I mean? There's plenty of questions to ask. But Mazraoui absolutely did change the game against Palace. The point is that you make subs, you ask him to come on and do a decent job. Aiden Heaven was struggling like hell in this game, right? Was he not? We had to sub him for Lenny Yoro, but we didn't have a choice here. De Ligt gets injured and all of that, and it's like, what are we going to do? So we didn't have much of a choice there. Night, Jason. No worries. Good to see you. Again, I very much respect what people's opinions are. When I look at it, I just look at it and I go, I don't have the answer for this, because I think that, I like I've said a long time ago, I said weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I have no idea if Amarim's the right guy. No fucking clue. Probably isn't. There's more signs that he's not the right guy in the long term than signs that he is to take us all the way to the top. More signs that he isn't than he is. But that doesn't really change the reality of our situations. It doesn't really change the reality of where we are. It doesn't really change anything about right now, because it's this like, it's whatever. This is where we are, we've been a transition team for ages. And every time we play it, it's exactly this point. Every time we cannot break down low blocks and have high possession, we drop points, because we've been a transition-based counterattacking side for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, and we've never moved away from it. Our squad's better than 8th. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. We'd have to say evidence of this, I don't think it is, but it's anywhere between 4th and 8th. I say this every single week. We are a team that will be anywhere between 4th and 8th, period. If we don't sign players, that's what we are. We are a team that will finish between 4th and 8th. I said it all week. I'm going to continue to say it. Until we sign players, that's what we are. This is just United, and we unfortunately have to accept it. It's what we are. Do we have a worse squad than Sunderland or Brighton? No, not necessarily. But it is not as good as people want to make it. At the same time, we talked about this last week with Palace. You'd take their entire spine over us. Over ours right now. Wharton, Gahey, not Dean Henderson, Wharton, Gahey, Mateta, they're better than our 3 we played in the middle again today. So it's not that crazy in terms of our squad. We can say it's comfortably 5th, but I disagree with that statement. Like, we've been over this, right? How good is our front line potentially without Šeško? Without Cunha that we played with for a few weeks? He came back today. But how good is our front line without them? It's not top 5 with Šeško, with Cunha, with Mbumo. Absolutely. Our front 3 is good. It's quite good. It's quite good. It should be quite good. Our midfield, it's relegation level. I'm just sorry, but it is. It's literally relegation level. It's not a great squad. Should beat West Ham. It should. It absolutely should. It absolutely should. It's like, but we've been playing. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the answers to these questions, but it's always someone else. That's the answer. Notice how it doesn't matter what subs are on. We can't see a game out. It's not the players' system. I think you have that backwards. I think you were kind of missing the point on that. We had control of the game for 75 minutes, probably. We didn't even not have control when he conceded. It was one fucking corner, like we didn't lose control of that game and then concede. It was a long ball that went to a corner and we conceded. We weren't like sitting there under the cosh getting battered by shots in the last 20 minutes of that game before conceding. It was one long ball into a corner. It's just same shit. It wasn't like we actually were decently controlled this game for the most part, more than we have in a lot of recent games. The lack of understanding about football from fans, journalists is always amusing. A team needs better players. Bruno, Cash, Shaw, Dallas, the quality we have. We've reached our ceiling with them, sign better players. I mean, I agree. Pep would struggle with them. Be patient, taking a squad builds time. Yeah, we're the team next game. I am worried about the fact that we can't score goals again. We started off pretty decent on that. Yeah, look, what I see is this, right? What I see is this. This is my take on it, and this is where I'm at. We've tried everybody, to be quite honest. We've tried everybody. West Ham parked the bus in this game. We had control of it. We've tried everybody. When will we accept that we just don't have a good enough team? When will we accept that? Aiden Heaven gets minutes, struggled mightily. Now we see why Aiden Heaven doesn't play. Now with all the clamor of Amorim not using youth will be very, very quiet. It'll be very, very quiet, and people won't accept the fact that they were clamoring for players like that before. That you're clamoring. People were clamoring for young players like Aiden Heaven to play. I think he's still got potential in the future. It's not that good. He struggled, right? Who doesn't play that is supposed to save us right now? We don't have it, man. We just don't have it. Yeah, I get 6 defenders, blah, blah, blah. We had one attacker on the bench in Mason Mount, and he came on. It's the same story as last week. We have the least athletic midfield in football. We just do. We have a combined age of 67 years old in our midfield. We have a 67-year-old midfield, but sure. But sure. Look, it happens every year. First it was, anyway, it just doesn't matter, man. It just doesn't matter. It is what it is. I don't know what to say about it. The midfield sucks. My biggest complaint with Ruben, and I've said this for multiple months, is the midfield choices. Now, your alternatives aren't great there, but you'll have people stroking off Casemiro and Bruno double-fisted every single week, and then the following week saying, oh, it's on Ruben to pick a better midfield. No, come on, man. You wanted those players to play. You're the one who every single time they touch a ball, is, come on, relax. Like, it just is what it is. I'm annoyed that he keeps picking that midfield. But, what bothers me about the discourse is that you have mostly it's the same people who are just, on their knees for the same players every single week that are then wanting to make it about the manager for picking them. Be consistent at least. We got to be consistent in our criticism at least. I don't sit there and suck off Bruno and Casemiro. And so I'm going to sit there and say it's shit that he keeps picking them. That's it. It's this. I think the midfield is shit and the manager's a fool for picking them. I agree. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I think they're shit. And picking them every week is killing us. At the same time, I'll be honest, I have no idea. No, I just explain. Where's all my Ruben praise? Find one thing that I praised Ruben on today. None. Last week, the only thing I said is that he did a good adjustment putting Mazraoui on. That was it. At the same time, I look at the alternative and I go, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Until we buy players, what is the alternative? We don't have the answers to that. Nobody does. We constantly make suggestions. We played Ugarte and Mainu against Grimsby and we lost. I'm not saying it was even their fault. That's why I would still try it again. But we don't have a choice. Am I blaming the midfield for that? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely, I'm blaming the midfield for that because it's about the control of the game, the creation of chances, the defending, the loose balls, everything that goes into the game starts in the midfield. At least in this system, even that's why it is really silly to me. We've compromised so much in the system for these midfielders, and they don't do anything out of possession. Ignore these haters. I mean, it is what it is, Levi. It's fine. Like I said last time, when we lose, I'm here. When we win, I'm here. It is what it is, man. Putting the blame on the players in praising, no, it doesn't. That isn't the same thing. Those are just the false equivalences. Like that's because people are too narrow-minded. That's you being narrow-minded, not me, just for what it's worth. If you think that blaming players for playing like shit is praising the manager, that's you being narrow-minded. But that's this idea that there always has to be somebody, one person has to be to blame. You know what I mean? One person has to be to blame. It can't be. Look, here's the thing about winning and losing, okay? This is what makes a team. And this is what people don't get. You win together, you lose together. Winning is everyone's responsibility. Losing is everyone's responsibility. So you don't say it's all the players and Ruben's the best coach on earth every time we lose and the opposite every time we win. Because it's a responsibility of everybody together to perform as a team. We're not doing it. And that's frustrating. It is what it is. And I think there's changes that we can do to the team, but there's maybe adjustments that we can make, but it is what it is. Ollie won games with McFred and Pereira. He did not win games with Pereira. I don't think you remember Pereira. The alternative is give Cobby. Look, let me get the right one on. I agree with you. I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you on Cobby. Like I said, that's what being balanced about the whole thing is, man. I agree with you. I'm frustrated that we continuously see Casemiro and Bruno every single week. It drives me crazy, but I'll tell you parts of it that drive me nuts, like that set the tone for the team. And I think that it's frustrating when we don't see it. Like, let's take the first half. And I'm going to call this out because I think it deserves calling out because I'm sick of it, especially from the captain. And you can call it hate and you can do what you want. I'm fucking sick of it. In the first half, at like 8 minutes, Bruno mishits a shot and starts crying to the ref for about the next 3 or 4 minutes about a clean block after he mishits a shot that Souček blocks. And he spends the next 3 minutes crying to the referee. We run down the pitch. He's still crying to the referee. Run down the pitch. He's still crying to the referee. Guess what that does for you, buddy? Ref doesn't believe shit. When you whine about clean tackles and you whine about clean plays and you whine about everything and you're the captain and you cannot keep your head on straight and focused, doesn't do shit for you. No one's going to buy your bullshit at that point in time. I think it's having a very significant negative effect on even the way we get officiated in games with the constant fucking crying when we don't even have anything wrong. But worse than that, what message is it sending to the team? That every time you screw up, it's someone else's fault. It's the refs, it's this person, it's that person, it's whatever. Grow up, man. You're the captain of the team. Grow up and just fucking wake up a little bit, man. And again, I put that on Amarim as well. But you know when that happens, it's going to be a shit game. You know that it's going to be crap. When that happens right in the beginning, that the head is gone, the attitude is gone. And that preceded about 15 minutes of utter crap from that point on. And then we finally got back into some control of the game after that. It just drives me fucking insane. You know, I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. And it's week in and week out. This keeps happening. Week in and week out, this keeps happening. You know, I'm just tired of it. But this is what goes on at this club. And I just, you know, it's like, we can't fix that, you know? You know, you can say that's on the manager, fine. We can't fix that. You know, that's not going to change unless we change all of that. Again, I'll blame Ruben for that fact, but I don't think he has great alternatives either. And that is on the club that they need to fix it. You know, but it was exactly what we spoke about during the game. Before the game, in the pre-match show, if you were here, it was the exact thing we were talking about at that time. I said, it's just the same shit. You know, it's the same shit. Okay. Everything, nobody wants to take responsibility because there's always Bruno that everything has to run through. The whole first half, with all the crossing, all the bullshit, everything had to go back to Bruno. 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 You know, we want players running through the lines, crashing the box. Nope. Back it up. Go back to Bruno for a cross to two players empty in the box. You know, it's tiring, man. It's tiring. We have to move past this. We have to move past it. I don't know what, I genuinely have no idea what else to even say about this. Right. And yeah, we have run Bruno into the ground. Yes, there's too many legs on. You know, no, look, I'm not. You guys are right. Okay, again, like I said before, you guys are right because I've said it forever about this. You know, I'm just saying what I see. What I see is wrong. They did not give him the players. And just to be clear, one of the reasons I don't put it as much on Ruben Amorim that people will is that Ruben wanted a midfielder this summer. They didn't get him one. Now, I can understand that we could not fix everything in one summer. I can understand that. And I'm not sure that we're wrong. That's why I've accepted where we're at. We couldn't fix it all in one summer. We had, if we ended up if we got a midfielder and we didn't get Šeško, then we'd be sitting there watching Rasmus Højlund shin it off of his legs every single touch. You know what I mean? And it's like, and we'd be frustrated in a different way. Maybe it would have been in a better way. You know, like, let me ask you guys today. Seriously, let me ask you a question today. If we got in Baleba instead of Šeško, would we be better off? I don't know that the answer is yes. I don't actually know that the answer is yes to that, by the way. I'm not sure it is. For one, because you can see how much we miss Šeško as well, for what it's worth. Like, we've missed Šeško a lot in these games. You know? We miss Šeško a lot. Højlund killed a lot of games as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, I don't know whether we would be better or worse. Or forget, I don't know if we would be better or worse. I really, really don't. We would be the same problem with Bruno next to Baleba. I mean, that might be true as well, to be fair. It might be better, it might be worse, but I don't have the answer to that. Šeško apparently aiming to be back within a couple of weeks, fortunately, but that's why I'm like, we've got to be really, 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 really demanding to not pass up January. It'd be fucking ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous to pass up January. It would drive me nuts to pass up January. Thank you, man like Pierre. Welcome to the membership. And you get to take the recent video as well. It's like, man, I just don't know. I think it's better to have Šeško. I'm glad we got Šeško. And I have my doubts on Šeško. But this is why I'm saying, for me, I just look at it like we need to be a big club. Go do something in January, because this isn't going to happen. Look, I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, but I'm dead certain of this. If we pass up January, it doesn't matter. It's going to stay the same. If we get new players, we will do better. If we get a new midfielder, we will do better. Today, I'm caught between the Casemiro Bruno thing, by the way. Once again, I'll do it on a rewatch, but I have to tell you my first impression on this game. I was frustrated with Bruno, but I thought Casemiro was non-existent. I don't even think he played today. I'm much more bothered by Casemiro than Bruno right now in those last couple of games. Even I know I go hard on Bruno on a lot of occasions, but I honestly can't stand it with Casemiro anymore. I really can't. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Bruno wasn't as bad as Mbumo. See, this is how I know. Look at this. You're the number one Amram hater in here, and you're saying Casemiro had a good second half. Did he fuck? Holy shit, man. But look at the opinions again. It's usually the people with the most Amram hate, and they sit there telling me Casemiro had a good game. I don't know, man. Fortunately, I have like 13 moments noted down, and about 80% of them were Casemiro. He was horrifying. First touch, every first touch he took was a first hit into a defender. Constant, same as last week. Ball falls to him, first touch into a defender. But it's not even just that. It's the fact that he does not contest the midfield ever. He doesn't contest the midfield ever. You know what I mean? That bothers me a lot. Maddie, thank you for the membership as well. Welcome, buddy. For the foreseeable, we'll lose games and we should win games, and win games we should lose. Just accept that every game will be a dice roll. That's the point. That's the point. That's exactly it. That's how I see it. It's like, this is just, it's fucked, but it's who we are, man. It's just who we are. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Here you go. Ready? Yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And I'm going to say, oh, don't watch stats. Don't watch stats. Here's your midfielder with 77% pass completion. You do not have any idea how fucking bad it is having a midfield with 77% completion. You don't know how dangerous that is. Look at the pass map. Everything forward is a turnover. All of these forward are turnover. Look at him. Even from the back, it's a turnover. It's just a bunch of sideways fucking passes. Everything forward is a turnover. This is 77%, 76%, 78% in your own half from a midfielder, from a number 6. You have no idea how bad that is for the team when your midfield has that low of a pass completion rate. It's appalling. At least Bruno wasn't passing it, giving the opposition the ball in our own half. He was pretty low in the opposition half, but this is 78% in your own half. Look at this crosses, by the way. 2 out of 8, just spamming them. 1 out of 4 on long balls. I just can't be fucked with it, dude. You know, yeah, he's being like one of that percent was an assist. Yes, a blocked shit attempt at a cross that happened to deflect to Dowlow, who did very well with it, by the way. You have to give credit to that. You know what I mean? But this is your midfield when you're trying to control games, 76% passing, 78% passing in your own half. You don't get it, man. There's no way people are looking at it and saying that's okay. No, it's not okay, dude. It's not okay. It's not. It's not okay. Look at the long balls. They're just, it's not okay. This is why we can't control fucking football games, man. This is why we can't keep it. You know, Amram needs to look at himself. He's played. I know. Like I said, I know, man. That's why it's really funny. Like, how many times can I repeat it? It's been 2.5 months. I've been sitting here saying this Bruno Casemiro thing. It might be our only midfield that kind of works, but it doesn't work. It's shit. Does Casemiro improve with Ugarte as a partner? I'd argue it's possible. Maybe, but they played together at 78 minutes and then we conceded. But at the same time, that was still just Casemiro letting the ball bounce over his head and then Lenny Oro misjudging it as well. So I ain't got the answers to that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck me, man. It's just, I'm frustrated. Look, I'm frustrated. I'm as upset as anybody about this, but I look at the game and I go, man, like, I don't have like the easy answers, and people will constantly claim there's an answer, but we've been down this road before, man. Yeah, you don't need stats to see Kessler. I know, but I can't believe people claim he was good. That I can't believe. I hate the arrogance we show when we're winning. It's outrageous. Yeah, 100%. We go up one goal. And you watch the whole team slow down. Like, we're good, guys. We're good. We got the lead. Look at how amazing we are. You know, we're good. We're incredible. I hate that. We're not spending millions on a rebuild for a manager. Again, I like I said, it has nothing. We're not spending money for it. Ruben Amorim. That's not how it works. You know, it's the same thing we see it every week. We concede, then we turn it on. We score, we turn it off. It's fucked, man. It's totally fucked. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know, there's no excuse for it. You know, I don't know. I don't have the answer for it. I really, really don't, because we've seen it so many times. I cannot believe, you know, we're making excuses for some of these guys, you know. I just can't. But it's bad. It's bad. It's really frustrating, these games. Yeah, it is just really, really frustrating, these games. It's unbelievable. It really is. You know, it's like, yeah, it's really funny because you get these crazy things like Dowlow will finally play a little bit better, and then Mbumo turns it off. Like, what happened there, man? You know, I mean, we've got to consider some of those factors in this whole thing too. Amorim saying in the press conference, said losing second balls is why they dropped points. But when's he going to change that? I agree with him. Like, that's the thing. I completely agree with him. But then when are you going to fix that problem? Right? Because he is absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. We drop points. We are dropping points because we are losing the battles in our midfield and losing the ball constantly. And we drop points. It's what happens every single week. And he says it himself. We lose the second balls. By the way, look, I just want to show you guys something. I'm going to share this without playing it, okay? This is how they scored. So apparently we lost control with the substitutes, all right? But this is how they scored. It's a ball from the keeper. I'm going to have to, I can't let it play or I'll get in trouble. So, all right, one long ball, ready? Watch. Now, for people who tell me it's not Casemiro, Okay. Ready? People tell me it wasn't Casemiro. Wasn't Casemiro, guys. Who's this, by the way? Who's this guy standing under the flight of the ball? Who's this guy standing under the flight of the ball right here? Can somebody tell me at the 81st minute? Who's this? That doesn't look like Lenny Yoro to me. That looks like Lenny Yoro, by the way, just behind him. That doesn't look like Lenny Yoro standing right underneath the flight of the ball. Okay. We're going to go 2 seconds. Oh, fucked it. Oops. Missed it. That's Casemiro. That's why we conceded. There was no, West Ham didn't control anything, do anything, create anything, make anything happen. It was a fucking long ball from the keeper that Casemiro just completely misjudged. Nothing else. That's it. Yeah, this is how they got the corner. Here, I'll show you. And then the ball bounces and it goes to Bowen, who runs it into the corner. Mazraoui is able to block the cross and it goes out. That's it. Nothing else happens. He's supposed to be one of the only reasons he's still in the game. See, this is how, like, just so you can see, by the way, this is how they get the corner. This is it. They're like, it's not like they had some crazy thing. All that happens, they send one long ball into the midfield. And Casemiro's standing right under it and fucking misses. That's it, man. You know, and Casemiro misses and it bounces to Bowen and that's it. And they get a corner. You know, and my frustration with it is that it's like, we're not getting played off the park by West Ham here under any fucking circumstances. Were we getting played off the park here? Were we getting, you know, dominated or something like that? We're not. It's just not happening. They did nothing to score that goal. It was a set piece, yeah, but not even a set piece with possession. One long ball, we let bounce, poorly misjudged the flight of it, goes for a corner, and they score, and we're asleep. Fuck, man. I don't know what to say. It's just, that's just football. You know what I mean? We just fucked it. You know? We just fucked it. It's not, again, it's not like we got dominated and West Ham were creating a bunch of chances. It's just not what happened. They didn't create anything clear cut at all, or even practically shots in that second half, you know, until that point in time. Did we create enough good chances? No, but we certainly were better than them. Of course we were. We were definitely the better side today. But that doesn't mean we deserve to win. We deserve what we get, man. We deserve what we get. You know? And this is what we get. This is who we are. And it's who we're going to be for some time. You know? I don't know. I got the answers to it. We didn't create enough, but it wasn't bad in terms of chance creation against a loaded blocks. You know, it was against a deep block. We scored a goal. Here's the thing about it. Here's one factor in this, right? Which we should all just consider for a moment. Whoever is to blame on this, be it Amorim, whatever. All right. We should be able to keep a clean sheet against West Ham at home. We should. We should be able to keep a clean sheet against West Ham at home. You know, we can sit there. Look, I want us to go for a second goal heavily, because I don't trust this team to keep a clean sheet. And they won't. We should be able to keep a clean sheet at home. And we can't. Against West Ham, we can't. Because they'll fuck it up. And that is something I don't have, you know, again, it wasn't by dominating of play. It wasn't because, oh, we got outplayed through in the system and shit like that. We just, defense is about 80% focus and effort. Maybe 90% focus and effort. You know, We don't have it. We don't have it. We just don't. And you can't trust us to not concede. I don't care who's on the pitch. We'll concede. We will concede. I get people saying, oh, well, Xerxes off. Manu should have come on, blah, blah, blah. We were 3-0 up against Brighton at home. Xerxes came on. Manu came on. We conceded 2 goals. We nearly lost control of that game as well. We couldn't keep a clean sheet then either. It's team-wide. It's infectious. And I don't have the fucking answer to it. And neither do you or anybody else. This is just who we are. But my takeaway is the same as it will always be. We do not have a good enough team at this point. And I really, really beg that Ruben switches the midfield. I don't know what else could happen there. I don't think it's going to happen. Do I think that the alternative is much better? No. Until we buy players, I don't think it's much better, but I wish we would try something because I'm so tired of it. 2 weeks in a row, Ruben says, is talking about second balls. Actually, it's 3 games in a row. We're talking about winning second balls and things like that. And we're 2 weeks in a row talking about it, but we have Bruno and Casemiro in the midfield. So what the fuck? It's not going to change. It's not going to change. If we keep losing the second balls, we're going to lose these games. That's it. That's all there's nothing else. Ruben has to do something about that. As much as he can try. We need better players in the midfield, especially, but I just hope he tries something else. I don't know that it's going to succeed, but I think we got to try something else. We attempted 27 crosses and completed 4. Yep. And that is just crazy to me. That is just crazy to me. That is just crazy to me. Most of the crosses were crap too. Yeah, for sure. It's abysmal. That is an abysmal stat. It's unbelievable. Poor decisions. And especially when we don't have a lot of players in the box. That's crazy. So, yeah, look, I can't bring on viewers at the end of this today because I have to go. It's midweek 1. I have to go pick up my kid. But so I'm going to have to run now. But so I apologize. We'll be back on it on Monday. It should be okay. Monday should be able to do the post, the speaks, the talk, and bring viewers on and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just as frustrated as everybody else is. It's just that I don't know. Man. I think that looking at one player, one person and saying, oh, it's all the manager. No, it really isn't, man. I mean, you can have that opinion. That's fine. My view on it is it's just predictable. We don't have a midfield that can compete physically with anybody in the league. We lose our head. From Ruben's standpoint, I am begging him to try something else in the midfield. I don't have the answer to what would be better, but I am absolutely begging him to try something else because I'm just tired of it as well. And that's it. Okay. I appreciate you all for being here. It's frustrating. We all want United to win. It sucks. It's painful. Nobody enjoys these types of games. We were at 78 minutes, at 80 minutes, we're 10 minutes away from just like, all right, wasn't amazing, but a calm, easy, see out 1-0 win. And then We just fuck it every time. You know, we just fuck it up. And you just know it's going to happen too. We just cannot, you know, see it out. What about Ugarte? Could he give us physical? Yeah, but I get why he doesn't play, but I don't know, man. I get why he doesn't play, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not an answer. So, but we still need to try something because the only wrong thing we can do is nothing, essentially. So yeah, we'll have to do call-ins on Monday. Hopefully it'll be at a good time because I can't do them today. So I got to run. All right, everybody. Well, thank you. And I'll see you all tomorrow and the next few days for other shit. And at least we have a short-ish turnaround to the next one, but good God, man. All right, guys. See you later. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't let it get to you too much. Okay? Bye, guys.